I've never seen so much good luck, have fun spam from these two players.
That's
pretty awesome.
White-Ra's got the APM going right now.
SLush is keeping right up with him too. It's impressive, but here we go. Game 3 starting right now. Down at the bottom right part of the map in the red, it is White-Ra.
And his opponent up here in the top left-hand corner in the green trunks. That is from Team Rain, that is SLush.
So these guys are as far away from each other as they can possibly be on a very large map. So we might be in for a pretty long one here. We'll have to see. Curious to see if White-Ra is going to put a Nexus down right after his pylon, or if he's going to go ahead and go for the Forge first. Actually, that's an interesting spot for that pylon there.
Yeah, it really is.
Because he can't quite put the Forge on the edge of the ramp with that, so.
No,
interesting. He might actually just be trying to wall across right at that small area.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's good as well.
And he's going to be able to pull that off pretty well. So we'll see if that's even just going to be a double gateway well, something like we saw in Shakur's Plateau in game number 1.
Yeah, certainly could be.
You know, his opponent, on the other hand, SLush, has a lot of opportunities. We'll see if he decides to go for the fast expand. Thus far, out of the games I've seen out of him recently, he has been going pool first in most situations because he doesn't want to deal with any expansion blocking shenanigans, delaying his timings, things like that.
Now
and we do have gas coming up first.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I was so excited to talk about what
No, just keep interrupting me.
All right, that's okay. I've gotten training.
I want to make a joke about one of your co-casters so
bad. No, don't go there. Anyway, we should talk actually about the change with this map. This is actually important here. The what I like to refer to as the ridiculous cliffs have been removed in this version of the map. Can you show that there for a second?
Yeah, let's
There's kind of this weird low ground in other versions of this map where stalkers can blink across, and cannons cannons can be too, but they don't do any good. Tanks can be on there as well. So
on my screen I can't see.
No ridiculous cliffs in this version of the map, which is kind of nice. I do like that.
And it looks like this pylon is going to get put down nonetheless. The spawning pool is coming up, so he'll be able to deal with that pretty effectively. Haven't seen cybernetics core blocks in quite a long time. Don't think White-Ra's going to be that bold, but certainly fun to see.
Absolutely, man. So I like SLush getting that speedling expand. I mean, this is game 3. This is going to decide who goes on in the tournament and who goes home. SLush is playing it as safe as he possibly can. And you can bet that White-Ra is going to play things pretty safe himself, too.
Yeah, certainly, and has enough money saved up for that photon cannon. There it goes down. And he's already built that in position so we can throw a structure right here, and it remains protected from roaches, whole 9 yards. So, so White-Ra with pretty good building positioning. The pylon is eventually going to go down, but he has delayed this expansion out of SLush for quite some time.
Yep, pylon is finally going to be taken out. It's kind of funny. The first couple minutes of the game always amuse me because it's like, look at where he put that pylon. That's something that never happens 10 minutes into the game, you know.
Especially in today's, bigger maps for tournament play, things like that.
Right.
Not a lot happens the first couple of minutes unless someone actually just outright goes and cheeses. But
look at how he's making gatherers.
That's
he's
beautiful.
Spawning drones.
I remember I go back and listen to some of my first casts, and I'm like looking at a Zerg player, and I'm like, he's on 8 supply, so it's not a 7 pool. Now he's on 9 supply, so it's not an 8 pool. Yeah, anyway.
I'm having beta flashbacks. I was like, how many supplies should I get my pool on? And they just tried everything. Yeah. Oh, White-Ra's pro checking out where the ridiculous cliffs used to be.
Yeah.
He's going to see that he can't put a pylon there at all. He's going to run right into the queen. He's like, I brought minerals. Please let me in the base.
He has a gift. I always think they look like little cats bringing a dead mouse for their owners.
Oh, anyway. That's cute. And disgusting.
It is a little bit, but I have cats. They are cute and disgusting.
Do they have pajamas too?
They actually do.
Really? Oh, that is adorable. You gotta. This guy needs to tweet some of the pictures of that, doesn't he? Yeah. Well, now you have to. They want it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'll text my wife in between the games.
Awesome.
All right. So anyway, hatchery finally coming up for SLush. Almost 6 minutes into the game. White-Ra has his wall in place. Oh, we saw the shadow of a Stargate. There's number 1.
There it is. Yep. And there's the black hole warp thingy of a Stargate as well.
That's true.
Looks kind of the same as all the other buildings, but we can click on it. We can find out, man. We can know.
It's true. And it has the slightly different builds. It makes those little weird shapes on the inside, but
oh, does it?
Yeah,
is there really a
have
difference?
Very tiny differences.
I'm zooming in on it right now.
Yeah.
Huh. You have to look for that now. I play Terran.
Use that excuse for basically everything. Hey! I heard a boo. No, I'm a Terran player too.
But I don't 1-1-1. Don't worry. I don't. I promise. 2 racks expand only.
11 racks all day, baby. So here we go. Void Ray coming up now. Promise not to call him a Void Way today.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It'd be the first day this week we have.
We do have Lair Tech hitting now for SLush, so we'll see what sort of style he wants to play, if he's already picked up on the inclination towards Stargate at the moment.
That's right. You know?
Yes. Yes,
I've got this thing about Stargate play versus Zerg. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about it a lot yesterday.
We did. You know, it just seems like such a risk here. I mean, it's such a huge investment. And, you know, Zerg players are usually very prepared for it, though. Although, you know, now that I see that SLush has elected not to get that early Evo chamber that we see basically 99% of the other Zergs out there get. So
he does have a hidden
actually, he might have a hard time with this, actually.
He does have a hidden expo up in the top right-hand corner of the map, though.
There's a fast Spire, though. That will actually help quite well against the airplane.
Oh, the Void Ray was just revealed, however. An Evolution Chamber is being thrown down in response. A queen already being put in position. There are only 2 queens on the map. An emergency third being constructed, though.
The Evo Chambers, you know, they do build pretty quickly, so you can do it like this where you respond to seeing it. But, you know, we could already have spores on the way. There are 2 queens there at the main. Whoa, what did I miss?
White Ra actually was floating up towards the... Oh, yes, it looks like he finally was able to see it. He sees the creep, he sees the structure, so he picks up on the third and is sending his Void Ray off to the right.
Yeah, that base is going to be in trouble. There's basically nothing SLush can do to really defend against that right now. In fact, it's just kind of keeping some drones there. Not making a queen or anything.
Yep, and unfortunately this Void Ray is going to end that pretty quickly.
If
we have a couple
it decides to move into the base
as well. Yeah, sometime.
It's like, I don't know. I've been to these bases before. There's usually queens.
Am I being
tricked?
Queen,
we're all good.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a trap.
Void Ray going to go to town on the hatchery. Nothing really being sent over quite yet. Spire is about to finish, however, and White Ra may be thinking about pushing his units forward here. Not going to take that third over on the right-hand side. He's going to start moving across the map with quite a few Zealots and a couple of Stalkers.
Yeah, he certainly could. There's 3 Mutas on the way, but they are not going to get there in time to... Oh, well, actually, with that Spore Crawler down there now, he might get there in time to save this hatchery, actually. Wow, I did not expect that.
Void Ray is charged up, so it'll start going to work on that hatchery once again. And yeah, the 13 Mutas are just a few seconds away from finishing the arc quite quick, so they'll be able to make their way over there pretty quickly.
They've got to fly all the way across the map, though. They're pretty fast. SLush is going to need to send those guys immediately if he's going to save this hatchery. They're on their way. The hatchery is at half health. Is he going to get there in time? He really could use this third, too. Yeah, oh, man, this is going to be so close.
400 points of health.
Oh, the Mutas are coming.
300.
Oh, this is going to be so close.
And it looks like the Mutas are going to clean it up in just the last second. Oh!
74 hit points left on that hatchery. That is about as close as you can cut it, man. It does not get any closer than that.
Phoenix is avenging their Void Ray brethren by taking out an Overlord over White Ra's base.
Yes, man. Wow. You know, the thing is, though, I mean, it was awesome that SLush saved the hatchery and everything, but he's going to have a hard time using it.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. We'll see if he utilizes it just for drones or production. It looks like just gas more than anything at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he will need the gas. He's got the Spire out. He's getting the upgrades. You know, he's going to be very gas heavy. He's also got the infestation pit on the way, another gas heavy thing.
And another hidden expo down in the bottom left-hand corner, but this is actually not picked up by White Ra yet.
Well, this is a really brilliant thing to do as a Zerg player. I mean, in that if you expand to those 2 very separate corners of the map, I did this like big hand gesture for some reason, even though I'm like mostly on a stream. But you guys saw
totally
it
bought into it. I loved it.
It makes it tough for the Protoss players to you know, address both of those. It's tough to kind of handle both of those expansions.
Oh, and White Ra picks up on the drone train that was making its way down to the bottom left-hand corner, so he knows that there's a base down here.
Yeah, the drone's turning around, but White Ra just so aware. That's a good amount of Mutas, though. I mean, the Phoenixes would have to micro pretty brilliantly to be able to handle that Muta ball.
They really would, but the Phoenix numbers are getting quite high. They're already at 7. Looks like he stopped production here momentarily. But
well, I mean, you know, everyone says, well, yeah, a Phoenix can infinitely micro against a Muta, but
2 Zealots made their way to the top right-hand corner and took out those last 73 hit points.
Yep. They did a couple slaps from a Zealot, and White Ra is again even on bases with SLush. There is a Dark Shrine on the way as well for White Ra.
Yeah, and we have another somewhat hidden expo coming up for old SLush as well, although all of these expos are not really returning anything quite yet. However, there's a Muta counterattack.
Oh, and White Ra does not have a whole lot to defend. The Stalkers trying to amble their way over in time, but he has lost a decent amount of probes right there. In fact, Yeah, he's lost about 16 so far, but look at that. White Ra chasing away those mutas. Oh, the Phoenixes are right there.
Oh, looks like they managed to pick off a couple more kills, and they are actually going to chase those mutas down.
He's got to be
Can't
careful.
get those too close, loses a Phoenix in the process.
Here's the thing is that when the muta count gets so high, Phoenixes actually are not very good against mutas because they tend to clump up, and the mutas just own them with the bounce. So you need to be so careful if you want to engage a muta ball of that size with your Phoenixes.
Yeah, I think we were talking yesterday, you always hear the old cliche that with perfect control, oh, mutas have to watch
helps,
out.
Yeah.
They run away. The old cliche that
nice blink.
if you have perfect control, one Phoenix can take out a million.
Oh,
We'll talk about that in a second as a fungal growth lands on top of all the Phoenixes. Only one of those units remaining. However, at the loss of quite a few mutas.
SLush, no kidding. The fungal almost baiting his units in there by himself.
And let's actually take a look now. This base for SLush in the bottom left-hand corner has remained. It's now mining. It's starting to return to profit.
Two very sad Zelts at the very top of the map there. They just died to those mutas.
There are two more hidden expansions up, though. However, White Ra is definitely going to see this picking off. Yeah, looks like one hatchery is canceled. It's going to move out of the way. White Ra sees the remnants, though, and this base is not going to stand a chance.
Nope, this base's days are done for. White Ra is just the ace of base.
That's terrible. There's no response there.
Everyone's like, it really is, Doa.
The rest of those are going to go down. We have a bunch of Zerglings that are swinging out over the White Ra side of things. Not actually looking at the Phoenix quite yet. There we go.
Wow, and there's also a DT running around as well. White Ra is just...
Oh, another base being picked up here. The next hatchery is going to go down, and SLush is going to be on two base here.
You know, I talked about the difficulty that some Protoss players have with handling those bases on very, very far distant corners of the map, but White Ra does not have that problem one bit.
No, not at all. White Ra blinking up onto the high ground as well, avoiding the rest of those Zerglings and taking a muta with him. DT going to make its way... Oh, no, he's just hanging out.
Hang out.
Scouting the army.
Just chilling.
Yep. All the stalkers making their way down to the bottom right, though.
This is actually so good by White Ra. It's like an observer that can kill things.
Kill things very quickly, mind you. And there's the blink away. White Ra is managing to take a few units with him. And this DT is actually going to come in undetected and swipe away at a few Zerglings.
Yeah, either way, though, these stalkers are in a bit of trouble here. It looks like SLush is going to be able to clean up the stalker ball. That's going to take a little bit of pressure on him, so nice score for SLush there.
Base coming up on the right-hand side for White Ra, however, as SLush is furiously trying to re-expand, actually bringing up 3 hatcheries at the same time, down the bottom left-hand corner and over at the 12 o'clock.
So he's still trying. I mean, SLush just so dedicated at making sure he's staying in this game in every way possible. A lot of those mutas have taken so much damage now. It's going to be a lot tougher to do those little engagements that he was doing before.
And
look at that.
He's swiping away at drones.
Yep. Ew, that is disgusting. Oh, look out, Queen. Oh, she's just like, I just want to spread creep tumors.
These bases are going to remain for SLush in the bottom left-hand corner, though White Ra certainly going to check there whenever he gets a chance. Nice little symmetrical pattern of structures appearing on the mini-map there. He has 4 photon cannons, so that should remain pretty well defended.
You know, there is only 2 Overseers out on the map, too, as well. I mean, with SLush spread out like he is with those DTs, you know, I'm kind of expecting him to have a few more. I mean, especially now with the cost reduced as well. They're really easy to get.
Yeah, certainly. Roach Warren finally being added to the mix for SLush. We can actually take a look at unit compositions now. Our first Archon is hitting the field. We do have a few DTs on the way as well. This DT taking out a few Zerglings over on the left-hand side, as well as a Zealot coming up and detecting this hatchery over at the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, wow. So White Ra. 4 bases for White Ra right now. As you mentioned just a moment ago, the Archons are starting to make an appearance. White Ra's just using these Templars for Archons specifically. And, you know, all of this is adding up to a pretty powerful army for White Ra. Look at that. That DT, man.
DT's going to go down, but that same DT should intercept these mutas. That is actually a lot of mutas. Photon cannons aren't going to be able to hold up to that. We're going to need to see some stalkers brought by. Oh, all the cannons are depowered now, and this Nexus could go down.
All the probes dying first, and yeah, White Ra trying to respond in time. He's moving up a few stalkers and Archons do great against really clumped up Mutalisks, but SLush getting away just in time. You know, it's like I mentioned last game, this guy does such a great job of making his Mutalisks last.
Yeah, certainly. You know, SLush is legitimately on 5 base, going to 6, I imagine, at the moment, but doesn't have great saturation in any of the subsequent bases. In fact, is needing to throw down, invest a lot of resources just in static defense.
You know, at the top base of SLush right now, there's a DT hacking away at that thing, man. I mean, White Raw's just relentless with those DTs. The Overseer's like, yeah, I see you, and the Zealot's like, I don't care.
We have a couple. We have a counterattack though with Mutalisk going into White Raw's base at the same time. A Ling run by. That's not going to do too much. The base actually did get killed of SLush's over at the 12 o'clock. The DT did its work, but White Raw looks like he's going to lose one in return. He is trying to reinforce though.
Ling's running into White Raw's main as well right now. SLush attacking on so many fronts. White Raw scrambling to defend everything. You know, these Lings could focus on a couple production buildings, and there they go right after the Dark Shrine.
And Mutas are going to swing their way now down to the bottom right-hand corner. Photon cannons are intercepting them, but SLush is just going to run on by to, well, that Dark Shrine, which is going to fall. At the same time, though, DTs are taking out the space on the left-hand side of the map.
Wow, and SLush, I mean, in the main base of White Raw, realizes that White Raw does not have a lot defending his very important tech buildings. The Dark Shrine is gone. The Templar Archives is gone.
Oh, and it looks like SLush is so worried about this attack here at the top left-hand corner that he actually let a few Mutas get killed by those Stalkers.
Yeah. You know what, though? I mean, you have to worry about that kind of thing because White Raw's coming into the natural. There's not a lot there to stop him. The Ultralisk Cavern is jiggling violently because it wants Ultras to come out and help. But you know what? I don't know if they're going to get out in time, man.
Brightness plating may be stopped. We'll find out in a bit. As the rest of those drones did go down, White Raw continuing to spread his forces out and deny subsequent bases, though. The Ultralisk Cavern is going to fall just before Kindness plating comes up.
Wow. Man. You know the Ultralisk Caverns have mouths on them too, but you can't hear them scream. It's very creepy.
And it looks like White Raw reinforcing very well. A lot of Stalkers making their way up. These DTs are finally detected. They are going to get brought down by those Mutalisks. SLush still working off of these bottom 2 bases. Not a ton of mining being done. How many workers killed? Wow, actually there's been 92 workers killed in this game so far.
Man. You know, SLush seems like he may be losing control of this game a little bit. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's going to be really hard to stop. Yeah, when I said a little bit, I actually meant completely.
A lot of it?
Yeah.
The Spire's about ready to fall. White Raw's going to take down the Hive. No tech remaining for SLush. He's down by 90 supply. And it looks like White Raw may advance into the round of 16.
Yeah, SLush has a beefy pack of Mutas and Roaches still out on the map yet, but compared to White Raw's army, it's just not going to be enough to win the game. White Raw about 100 supply ahead right now. Expect the GG anytime soon, man. It's about that time.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, SLush is hoping that he can kill absolutely everything with these Mutas, but even if White Raw takes substantial losses here, he can afford to lose those and just warp in Stalkers a little bit at a time and start whittling away that Mutalisk count. And there it is. GG, well played. White Raw has advanced.
Yeah, great manner from Rain SLush, but White Raw moving on in IPL 3. What an amazing set played by White Raw. Man, when he told you PVZ easy, he was not kidding, was he?
Wow, there we go. And I think the crowd wants to see White Raw.
I think they do. Yeah, I don't know where he's going to come out, but yep.
All right, so congratulations to him. That was an excellent, excellent set.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's a popular guy, you know?
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Special Tic Tacs.
That's right.
Anyway, all right, guys, so we're going to head into the next set here in just a bit. I believe that it's OGS MC versus FXO and Nori.
I believe that is true. We've got a pretty interesting PvP. You guys want to see those two guys play here. We're going to do an interview with White Raw first, though. So we're going to send it down to Anna on the stage as soon as she's ready for that. And we're going to have to see what White Raw has to say.
Born ready to interview White Raw. Can you come on out, White Raw? Let's give him a warm round of applause. Alexi, how are you feeling now?
Pretty happy.
Yeah? Well, you're hearing screams of special tactics all the time. Can you tell us really what is the definition of special tactics?
It's make something big surprise for your enemy, and same time it must work very well.
So, do you use special tactics all the time, or only in those special circumstances?
50-50.
Okay, good. Well, you're from Ukraine. Has the travel been easy, fun? How has it been?
It's very hard and very far road. Fly near 12 hours. to USA, but I coming a little bit early and can preparing for jet lag. I think it's very important coming for 3 or 4 days before starting event, and you can practice and preparing for jet lag. It's very important.
Well, a lot of people on Twitter were asking, how many hours per day would you say you usually practice?
Not many. When I practice, I make my stream, and it's almost all my practice. Maybe 19% all my practice, and I make when I'm streaming, and only 20% when I play custom game with my friends, Dimaga, SLush, and rest players from Europe. Because, yeah.
So, what would you say is the most important thing to do when you're preparing for a tournament like this?
You need to spend a lot of time, maybe 9 hours a day for play all maps what we have in this map pool, and of course you need prepare 3 or 4 build order for all of the map, and you can choose. It depends who your enemy. He play aggressive style or macro game. You just choose best way.
And how did you prepare specifically for this match?
I will play with SLush before. I know he very good players and very skilled players, and it's been not easy game for me. But I know he like using Mutalisk and try preparing and transition faster as I can for Stalkers and Blink.
You're well known by the community as one of the most polite and most well-loved players in StarCraft. Would you guys say that's true? Do you feel well-loved when you come to tournaments like this?
I feel very huge support, and try always show my best and make something bigger for StarCraft 2 community, because we have very huge community and very friendly.
Great. And you have a lot of support from the fans as well as, I'm sure, sponsors, and I know you've recently taken on Thermaltake as your team. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or maybe any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, we have a team, you know, in Taiwan we have something like GSL, TSL, and in Taiwan, Thermaltake responsible team like Apollo. I try to help Thermaltake team play better, practice when I come in Taiwan. And of course, it's very good when we have more expansion in e-sport from such a big company like Thermaltake.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
All right, well, best of luck in the tournament. You guys give him one more big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. All right, coming up next, we have another big match in